Yeah. It's a Crazy Taxi World Tour update. Hey guys, I'm back once again to update everyone on the Crazy Taxi situation. In my last video, I shared how Crazy Taxi World Tour and the devs at SEGA Sapporo have basically been hit with the unfortunate Gen AI bug. To catch up on everything so far, please check out my last video on this topic, because we have an update on the situation, but we're also going to take a look at a few screenshots, talk about two of the mini games inside the game, as well as some of the sponsorships, and who you can expect to hear music-wise too. So let's dive right on in. Okay, first, let's talk about that situation. As I stated at the end of the last video, that people need to start asking the questions of how SEGA Sapporo had basically jumped in and started using Gen AI in the game. Well, it looks like somebody did, and that is Kotaku. Yes, Kotaku. And they asked the right person to talk about the situation instead of the PR department at SEGA. Basically, at Summer Game Fest Playdays event, Kotaku had attended a presentation alongside other members of the press to see more World Tour hosted by the original series creator and the creative director for World Tour, Kenji Kano. When the topic of AI came up in conversation, Kano basically explained a little bit more about how the team used it, saying, "We used it as a reference. So our artists would pull up and generate some of their ideas, and then they would look at that, generated image, and they would just draw the actual thing. So actual creators, everything from programming to assets, everything is made by actual humans. It's only used as a reference for them to look at, and then they would actually create the actual thing that would go in the game." Following up on that, Kotaku then asked how the World Tour team weighs the perceived benefits of Gen AI against any potential backlash from the public. And while he acknowledged the technology would continue to be controversial, he reiterated that World Tour would only be using Gen AI produced assets as reference, rather than for anything that shows up in game, stating, "For us, the extent of how we use generative AI is only what I mentioned earlier. It's just for ideas and just as a reference. Moving forward in the future, generative AI is probably going to be more of a hot topic, but I think that's all I could say right now on how we use generative AI for this game." Now, I know a lot of people will probably read those comments and basically think that's still bad, but honestly, it is the minimum use of Gen AI in studios. So much so, in fact, it seems like they're using it even less than Sandfall Interactive when they made Expedition 33. If you don't remember, they used it the same way, but they also use it as placeholders until the actual assets were done. And while they did forget to remove a few, they did and got replaced. It seems like SEGA is trying to avoid doing that themselves. But still, in the future, please let SEGA know politely, even if you want to let them know now, we don't like seeing Gen AI even used in development, especially when you have talented artists. And speaking of artists, let's take a look at some of the screenshots that were released for the game. And I gotta admit, these screenshots are fantastic. The game looks to be really far into development, graphics look great, and you should recognize the location here. It's San Francisco from Crazy Taxi 1, as that's where you'll be starting. In the game's story mode, you'll be playing as Axel, who is out to recover his stolen car from a mysterious group of international car thieves, and as you're playing through the story mode, you'll be unlocking the other Crazy Taxi drivers like Petey, Joe, and Gina. Now, if you haven't noticed, some familiar sponsorships are not showing up. Well, the game's not fully finalized yet, but some of the sponsors have been chosen. While Pizza Hut and KFC haven't been announced, Five Guys, Menchie's Frozen Yogurt, Amoeba Music, Panda Express, Press Juicery, and Funko have all been confirmed to be in the game, at least so far in the San Francisco area. During said story mode, you'll be able to do some of the missions, and you actually see 2 of those missions in the trailer. The first mission showed off is a fishing minigame. And of course, the second is delivering pizza. Now, you may recognize this as a similar minigame in the Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth game, Crazy Deliveries. Honestly, that was a lot of fun, so I expect this one to be just as fun too. Lastly, when it comes down to music, it has been confirmed that Bad Religion and The Offspring are going to be in the game, as well as other popular punk bands from today. Now, as far as who those punk bands could be, we have no word yet, but keep an eye out. They'll get announced sooner or later. Well, guys, that's all we have for now, but be sure to subscribe to the channel so you guys stay up to date on everything that's happening with this game, because I'm going to cover it as much as I can, because hey, I'm crazy for Crazy Taxi. Don't forget to hit that like and turn on your bell notifications to stay up to date on everything with the channel. Catch you later.